Kim Mulkey had tears of joy streaming down her face as she guided LSU's women's basketball team to its first national championship. Her Tigers used a record offensive performance to beat Caitlin Clark and Iowa 102-85 on Sunday and win the first basketball title in school history, women's or men's. The victory made Mulkey the first women's coach to win national championships at two different schools. The Hammond, Louisiana native won 3 at Baylor before leaving for LSU 2 years ago. Coaches coach a lifetime and this is the 4th time I've been blessed, Mulkey said. Never in the history of LSU basketball, men or women, has anybody ever played for a championship. The feisty and flamboyantly dressed Mulkey, who wore a sparkly, golden, tiger-striped outfit, now has the 3rd most titles of all time behind Gino Orima's 11 and Pat Summitt's 8. Mulkey has never lost in a championship game. My tears are tears of joy, she said. I'm so happy for everybody back home in Louisiana. Clark, the Associated Press National Player of the Year, couldn't lead the Hawkeyes to their first national title despite one of the greatest individual performances in NCAA tournament history. The junior finished with 30 points and 8 assists. She scored 40 in the semifinals to knock out unbeaten South Carolina one game after she had the first 40-point triple-double in NCAA history in the Elite Eight. The dazzling guard, who grew up in Iowa, set the NCAA record for points in a tournament, passing the 177 that Sheryl Swoopes scored in 1993 en route to leading Texas Tech to the title that year. Clark ended her tournament with 191. The 102 points LSU scored on Sunday broke the previous high for a championship game, surpassing the 97 that Texas scored against Southern California in 1986. Jasmine Carson scored 22 points, Alexis Morris added 21 and Angel Reese had 15 points and 10 rebounds for LSU, 34-2. It's no one-man show around here. When I go down, the next man is up, said Reese, who was honored as the most outstanding player of the Final Four. Every single time, every time I go out or Alexis Morris goes out, everybody always comes to step up. Trailing by 21 points early in the 3rd quarter, Iowa started hitting from the outside to go on a 15-2 run. It made 4 3-pointers and converted a 3-point play to get within 65-57. The Hawkeyes, 31-7, trailed 73-64 with 1:03 left in the 3rd quarter when Clark was called for a technical foul. She swatted the ball away on the floor after a foul call against a teammate. That counted as a personal foul for her 4th of the game. I thought they called it very, very tight, Clark said. Hit with a technical foul for throwing the ball under the basket, sometimes that's how things go. Clark played the entire 4th quarter with 4 fouls but couldn't get the Hawkeyes much closer. They really played well, they were ready to go. They did a great job. I'm just so proud of my team, Iowa coach Lisa Blutter said. This is brutal. It's really tough to walk out of that locker room today and not be able to coach Monica, Chinano, and McKenna, Warnock, again. I'm very thankful for the season we had and don't want to take anything away from that. After Kadari Poole hit a 3-pointer in front of the LSU bench with 1:13 remaining, Mulkey started weeping. A few seconds later after another LSU basket, Reese taunted Clark by putting her hand in front of her face with a "you can't see me" gesture and then pointed to her ring finger at the end. As the final seconds ticked off, Mulkey and Reese hugged, setting off a wild celebration by the Tigers. The game was tight for the first 15 minutes before Carson got hot from the outside. She made all 6 of her shots in the 2nd quarter, including 4 3-pointers. After one of them, she threw her hands in the air and Mulkey mimicked it on the sidelines. For good measure, the graduate student guard banked in a shot just before the halftime buzzer to give the Tigers a 59-42 lead at the break. It was the most points ever in the first half of a championship game, breaking the record held by Tennessee since 1998. Before Sunday, Carson had gone scoreless in 5 of her 7 postseason games in her career. She had 11 points in this NCAA tournament before the finale. LSU shot 58% from the field in the opening 20 minutes, including going 9 for 12 from behind the arc. The Tigers finished the game shooting 54% from the field, including making 11 of 17 3-pointers. I've been working for this my whole life, Carson said at halftime. It feels great to finally display it on this stage.